American troops have done in Iraq, all the fighting, all the dying, the bleeding, the building, the training, and the partnering, all of it has led to this moment of success.
You deserve better than tyranny, corruption, and torture chambers. You deserve to live as free people, and I assure every citizen of Iraq, your nation will soon be free.
Hey, yo, Esau. Yeah. Let me holler at you for a second, bro. You remember me? Yeah. When I used to rule the world until you put me in this motherfucking shithole. But it's all good. I forgive you, Esau. But I've been hearing some crazy stuff, man. And you've been polluting the sea. You've been polluting the air. You've been polluting the water. All the animals are crying out against you, Esau. Most High ain't happy with your ass. I just gotta tell you, when I get out of this place, when the Most High come back, I'm gonna chew your ass, Esau. Your ass is gonna be mine. Believe that.
Hello, I am Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew, and you are watching the Lampshades Current Events, End of Days. The world is changing, O Israel. Freakish weather conditions, super tornadoes, typhoons, tsunamis, record-breaking flash floods, droughts, famine, pestilence, and hunger. In addition, we face global instability, financial crisis, the fall of the US dollar, civil unrest, a police state, the RFID chip, aka the mark of the beast, leading up to World War III. One world currency, one world religion, one world government, aka the New World Order. And did I mention aliens, bro? The Lampshades Blood Moon Saga complete series has ended. But it's done. You can go back at any time and watch all 7 seasons. Check out our journey from when we were, coon Christian pastors, and how it's changed to finding out the truth and knowing that we were Israelites from the tribe of Judah, and finding out who the real God was and is and will always be, and that's Yah and his son, Yeshua HaMashiach. 7 seasons come and gone. But make sure, because you don't know when the internet's going to go down. You don't know when any of the calamities that are coming that will come to pass, will make viewing the internet, will make viewing websites and things that you are used to seeing online no longer accessible. Also going to talk to you today about 500 days to climate chaos. That's what French minister said, and John Kerry was there, or the Secretary of State was there. All the world leaders were there, the various world leaders, and seemed to me that he just came out and said it. Now, first off, let me go ahead and make a few things clear. All right, all climate chaos and climate change aren't the same thing. They're two different things. Okay, like for instance, climate change is like gradual. Talking about the weather getting warmer, the planet getting warmer over time, being increased or getting colder over time. It's an over the time type deal. It's it's not all at once. It's not rapidly fluctuating every 5 seconds. And climate chaos, well, that's just the extremes. That's droughts that don't end. That's rainfall, that is completely off the charts. If a meteor falls into the sea, called wormwood, maybe, let's just say, and it turns the sea bitter, and people die from drinking the water, that's climate chaos. If the sun, when the sun is 7 times its strength, and that's just the way it becomes, that's climate chaos. Now, how the world turned from the atmosphere that we had, the temperatures and that we had as a planet back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, how the world was green and lush, like in the Garden of Eden type of green and lush, to how the world is today, where you go outside and the Edomites have made, iron everywhere and concrete, and you don't see trees and forests and greenage like it once was. That happened gradually. The climate changed from the way that it was in creation to the way that it is now. Now, of course, to be 100% honest with you, over the last past 100 years, or over the last past 400 years, actually, ever since the Negroes went into slavery and the Edomites been on top, ain't nothing in this world, ain't the changes in this world haven't been natural. Everything but natural. Okay? They poison the air, they poison the sea, they poison our drinking water, they poison the ground. GMOs and so much, they poison everything. And now this French minister, foreign minister guy, is saying that through their calculations, there's going to be a catastrophe in 500 days, as per the time that he was saying it. Now, that 500-day calculates to like September 23rd, September 24th. Basically, the end of the blood moons, the last blood moon cycle. We already know that. The Israelites already know that. The Israelites everywhere, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that woke up to this truth already know that, you know, the blood moons have significance, and the last blood moons, the end of the blood moon cycle, it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. So it's no big surprise to us. Praise be the Most High. It's a big surprise though to Esau. It's a big surprise to these lost Israelites who are still looking towards the Edomites to tell them what's going to happen next. Still trusting the Edomites to guide them through the next phase as the Edomites' kingdom crumbles. As the Edomite kingdom falls apart. You Edomites, you broke this world down to its bare essentials. You made it not about life. You made it not about, you know, the food chain, food, water, you know, about growth. You made it not about anything that the Most High created it to be. You made it about money. You didn't care about, you know, the environment. You didn't care about the animals. You didn't care about, you know, the circle of life, so to speak. If you couldn't associate a dollar sign to it, it was worthless. It had no intrinsic value to the Edomites. You know. Notice that Obama hasn't come out talking about this days till calamity happens. Notice he ain't saying nothing. He's silent on this issue, even though during the presidency, during his bid for the presidency, one of the things he was saying, one of the things he was bragging about before he even got into power was that the damage to the earth is going to begin to recede, and that America is going to be the leader on the environment. The environment. America. Really? I mean, if America was the leader on fixing the environment, how could they say that and still be on the left-hand side going, drill, baby, drill? Yeah, let's go get some oil. Let's go ahead and have shell and drilling and fracking in America, destroying with pollution that comes from as a byproduct. In American towns, oil spills messing up the environment, but we're gonna lead on the environment, America. What history do they refer to? Leading on cleaning up the environment that America, as an one of the biggest industrial, countries, is just as guilty of destroying. They're talking about building more power plants, nuclear power. That's not going to fix the environment. That's not safe in any way for the environment. Nuclear waste lasts for 22,000 years? There's nothing that we can build as human beings that will have a 22,000 year shelf life. Okay? And just because the Edomites say, the planet's been around for millions and millions and billions of years, they're lying, man. The Bible talks about 6,000 years, 7,000 years. There you go. 6,000 years, 7,000. 1,000 years of God. A day to God is 1,000 years. That's what the Bible talks about. So we haven't been here for no millions and millions of years. There's not enough data and proof of old civilizations that date hundreds of thousands of years you know? So they're lying. They've been lying. They always lie. And they're lying now. But see, one of their ministers comes out, one of the French ministers come out, and he drops the bomb, and he looks around at everybody else and tells everybody else, hey, you guys know this too. He dropped the bomb because you know what? Like we said before, like they say, you know, at all the camps, everywhere, all these Israelite ministries, you know, that this world has an expiration date on it. Esau's kingdom is crashing down. It's coming. It's unraveling. We didn't have to have no scientists that comes out and tell us that. You know, and you know the captivity of the Israelites is coming to an end. We didn't have, you know, somebody else have to come and let us know that the blood moons are a message, and that they're warning the people of impending doom. That's obvious. Now, you want to pay attention to what isn't being said. Okay? What isn't being said is what plans, you know, what plans they have in place to prepare. You see, because they say, oh, 500 days is going to be, we need to have a summit next year, but yet this is going to happen in September of 2000, or by September 24th or so of 2015. So, but we need a plan next year or down the road to discuss how to stop emissions and all the other kind of stuff that or put a carbon tax on things so that we can help try to avoid this climate catastrophe. Okay. First things first. They can't avoid it. They can't stop it. They can't change it. It comes because of the Most High. Any attempt that they have, these Edomites, these screwballs that are running the world as it's going into this ditch, any attempt that they have to try to fix it is what they say, but in reality, they already know they can't fix that. What they want to do is they want a carbon tax and stuff, or other types of taxes to help you pay for their new world order. That's what they really want. So that you're paying for your own enslavement. Because, okay, they're broke. America's broke. $17 trillion debt now, last time I checked. The other countries are broke. I mean, they're trying to, you know, get themselves out, but they can't. They can't print enough money to get themselves out of debt. Nowhere. So they're making sure that the American people, that the people of the world, of all these other countries, pay a fictitious tax, extra tax, so that when the New World Order rolls down, you know, they have everything in place, and they'll have, you know, they'll you know, just another way of buking the people. Because government's all about a small percentage, a small elite people holding all the power. And the New World Order is about consolidating that power to even a smaller group of people. All right? But, you know, but they're lying. I mean, climate calamity, well, that's already happening. With every single time we got a super tornado, you know, that covers a huge amount of space and dumps a huge amount of water, rain, so much where thousands of millions of people are being displaced, you know, having to go into other places, you know, having to be evacuated and so forth. We got lava in places of the earth that, you know, 80 some odd eruptions, thousands of earthquakes in under a few hours, you know, and we haven't seen nothing yet. Polar shift is coming to the world that's going to cause that drunkenness that the Bible was talking about. Planet Nibiru's coming. The Most High is coming back. Why do you think they're not showing people, you know, what it looks like in space? With all, they got all these space probes going and all these space launches happening, you know, in quick, rapid succession. What the heck do they see out there? You can't be a planet that size in the heavens. Ain't something that's just you're gonna miss. But yet they're not talking about that on the mainstream media. They're not talking about what comes next. They're not talking about what is coming. You know, this world is unraveling, Israel. It's unraveling at the seams. And you can't keep trusting in the Edomites to tell you. You can't trust them at all. Okay? They're the government seeks to possess power and maintain this power. Like we said 1,000,001 times, you know, if the truth goes against their power grid, if the truth goes against their interests, if the truth goes against, you know, their plans, they will suppress the truth. And they have been suppressing the truth. I mean, even the foreign minister isn't continuing to explain and to divulge, you know, all this stuff that deals with their findings. He wouldn't just go off on national TV and say 500 days, that's all we got until major, you know, environmental, you know, chaos, if he wasn't looking at something in his briefings that gave him that impression. But yet still, you don't see no news about that on the mainstream media here in America, because they don't want you to know the truth. If you knew the truth, then you wouldn't be believing them when they're talking about people being crazy for stocking up on food and stocking up on water, preppers, so to speak. They wouldn't dismiss it as a conspiracy theory for the people who say, you know, they can't trust the government and the government can't protect them, and they need to start making moves, you know, on their own. Now see, as the Israelites, we put our faith in the Most High Yah. And we know that the Most High is returning for us, for His people, for His children. Not for these other nations. Well, He's returning to them too, but He's returning to them for wrath, you know, for righteous judgment. All right. But you know, you other Israelites, you need to, you know, return back to the Most High, return back to His law, statutes, and commandments. You know, an event is going to take place when the God of Israel returns, and He's going to choose His chosen 12,000 from each tribe. They are going to be the modern day Noah's Ark, so to speak. Make sure you follow him. Make sure you're with him. And there's not going to be no negotiation with them. Praise be to Yah. So, 500 days till climate chaos, and we're counting. And it's going to be around the last blood moon. You know, all eyes on the sky. You know, because it's gonna be great. You see, because it don't bother us. It don't bother the Israelites about the fall of Esau's kingdom. Let it be. Let it come. We put our faith in Yah. We put our faith in His Son, Yeshua. So if you don't know that the Messiah is black, if you don't know that He's a Negro from the tribe of Judah, if you don't know that, you know, the God of Israel is coming, if you don't know that the children of God are these so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, if you're not one of that group, if that's not you, I can see why you're scared. Are you ready, O Israel, for the end of days? Planet Nibiru, polar shifts, gigantic meteorites the size of cities hitting the earth? You better have your Yahshua HaMashiach seatbelt on, because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Lampshades ministry is an Israelite ministry from the house of Judah, and we do not accept tithes and offerings of money. The word of God is for free and not for sale, bruh, at any price. I'm your host, priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew. Join us next time if you're still breathing and one of these worldwide calamities haven't ghosted your ass. This is the Lampshades, current events, end of days. Shalom, bruh.
Wake up, so-called African Americans, Black Americans, let me tell you the truth. Liberty or a noose, the choice of a Jew. You're a Hebrew, brother, you're a Hebrew. Your story don't begin in America, for forever, you were born as a Jew, made a slave in Egypt and all around the world. You're a Hebrew, brother, you're a Hebrew. 400 years in captivity, the facts don't lie. You can bury the truth, but the truth won't die. You can stain it on glass, won't change the facts. That our Lord Jesus Christ is black. You can rewrite the past, that don't really fly. You can remake a movie, you can try and deny. You can paint him white on the cross, can't change the facts. Lord Jesus is black. The greatest deception was turning day to night. Is to say black Jesus is why.
Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. God created man in his very own image. What the Father has begun, the Son will finish. The people of God spoke Hebrew, not Yiddish. What the white man destroyed, the Lord will replenish. The people of God has the mark of the Lord, identifying factors that no one can ignore. Feet of bronze, hair of wool, and among the poor, Jesus Christ was a black man waiting at the front door, screaming, let me in. If you do, I will dwell in you. Wash your feet, make a heart brand new. Let me in, I will take away your sin. I will love you like my kin. Don't reject the Hebrew skin. Let me in. The true Hebrews were meant to be a blessing to the nations, but their heritage was erased during slavery, and they were replaced by fake Jews. Deuteronomy 28 tells the story. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Yeah, man, you gotta know your Bible, man. Revelations chapter 2, verse 9, and Revelation chapter 3, verse 9 speak of the true Jews. We the true Jews, you the fake nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop. Hebrew nation, you can't stop us. Slavery couldn't break us, so we won't stop. We rise to the top, even though you thought not. We the true Hebrews, though you caught block. We won't stop.